Hi everyone and welcome back to another Zero Forma build. It's been a while since we've done this, but I thought, you know what better time to go back to this awesome series than having the new Warframe Gyre under the microscope a little bit, right? So I have two builds for you today. One of which will be used to just go through the star chart, do some sorties, do some, I don't know, basically almost everything outside of Steel Path, I would say. You can bring this with you and you will play it a little bit differently than in Steel Path. But yeah, let's just talk about Gyre in general. Right. Her abilities, Arc Sphere, this is a nice CC that you can throw down. You can throw down multiples of those. As you can see, our duration is, honestly, let's just go to base stats for now. It's 10 seconds normally, right? So we pumped this up a little bit. But yeah, it's not too much, but also it's not to be underestimated. So you will have to cast this a lot of the times in Steel Path. Basically every 15 seconds is your base minimum. You will throw those down every 12 or 10 seconds just to be safe, right? Your 2, Coil Horizon, this is like a grouping ability that you can throw out. You can tap the button again to explode it. I don't use this too much, but it can absolutely be a lifesaver in a sticky situation. Then we go to Cathode Grace. This is an awesome buff that you can toggle. Keep in mind, don't activate this too soon into the mission. You basically want to activate this as soon as you can kill some enemies to make the most use out of this, right? As you can see, you gain 50% crit chance and like an 8-second duration, and for every kill, a 3-second duration. We pump those up. Those numbers will go up. As you can see, we reach over 100% crit chance increase, which is very, very nice. Rotor Swell, I have this active at all time. Right, this is just amazing. You will have CC around you with that, which works very nice with the other abilities, right? Her passive is like also very nice, right? Her abilities have a 10% chance to deal crit damage for each electric status that affects the enemy. So the more enemies you have around you, the more your 4 will actually crit, the more your 1 will crit, the more your 2 will crit, right? So it's very synergistic in Steel Path because there are a lot of enemies around you, basically at all times. In earlier mission, you basically activate your 3 and your 4, and you do not care about your 1 and your 2, which means you end up with a build like this. This is, I shouldn't call this EDP actually, this is basically star chart. There we go. And we switch those two around. So, as an aura, we are using corrosive protection because that is all we need in, or we could even go for something else. You could go for energy siphon, to be absolutely honest. If you have like a good enough rifle and stuff on you, you could definitely go for energy siphon. I usually go for corrosive protection so I can faff around with different guns and stuff, right? Right, so we want to reach the 100% crit chance, so we need exactly 200% strength. We go a little bit over here, but that is a-okay. We have Transient Fortitude, Intensify, and Augur Secrets, and that is also helpful to rebuild our shields, right? So I thought Augur Secrets would be very, very nice. You can also go for power... Oh no, you cannot go for power drift, sorry. If you don't use mobilize, you can go for power drift. You have exactly 200% strength, which means exactly 100% increased crit chance. But I really like the Augur Secret setup, so that's why I went for this. But if you don't have the Exilus slot unlocked and don't want to use it at the moment, you can switch this out for Power Drift if you do not care about the Augur set bonuses, right? Right. For some health, we throw on Vitality. This is by far the most basic survivability mod that you can have. Keep in mind, Gyre only has 100 armor, and that makes her immensely squishy, which is why we will change those. This mod and the whole survivability aspect behind her kit, we will change those up for Steel Path. But for like Star Chart, Vitality is definitely all you need. You are fine with that. Right, we need and want duration as well to keep our 1 up, our 4 up a good amount of time, right? So we use primed continuity. You can go for regular continuity, of course, as always. Don't be discouraged by primed mods in Zero Forma or budget builds, right? You can just, go with continuity, and as you can see, you do lose a little bit. You have to recast your abilities a little bit sooner, but in case you don't have primed continuity, feel free to just use normal, right? Just use the normal one. You will be fine. And Ogre Message. So we have a second Ogre mod here, and we will talk about why those are so good in quite a second. And the last stat that we will want to buff up is range, because our 4 needs some range, our 1 benefits from range, our 2 benefits from range. I feel like you can see why we do this, right? So stretch and Augur Reach in combination with one another gives us the 175% range, and this feels very, very good, to be honest, throughout most missions. I am using Mobilize here. That is just something I like to use. That is nothing you need to use if you don't want to, right? So the Augur mods, why are those so cool? If we take a look at just one of them and throw that in, we have 40% energy spent on abilities is converted to shields, right? And when we throw in a second one, we are on 30%, and another one we are on 80%, sorry. We are on 80%, and with the third one, we are on 120% of energy spent. So we cast this twice every time, so we spent 50 energy for that. We spent 50 energy for our 2 if we cast it, 75 for the 3, and 100 for the 4, which is why I'm not pumping up efficiency. Note in the star chart where you do not rely on this mechanic at all, you can drop Mobilize and one of the Augur mods and slot in Streamline to make casting a little bit cheaper. But this Warframe is very, very power hungry, so I do definitely recommend Arcane Energize. I finally was able to rank it up to rank 2, but I was running around with a rank 1 Energize for the longest time, and that definitely helped out very, very much. Since we are lacking survivability, I am using Arcane Grace with this star chart build, and I just have a Guandao on me because that is a very achievable weapon to get, right? So star chart, what do we think? Level 50, let's go. Level 50 is pretty high, but level 50, all you have to do, you can throw down your 1, and that kills further enemies. If you cast your 4, basically even heavier units are getting crowd controlled, and you can go in and just clean up with your melee or your gun or whatever you have on you at this moment, right? So as you can see, star chart, not a problem at all. Let's say you are doing sorties on a level 100. You throw down your 1, and as you can see, it still cleans up very nicely. Obviously now you have to have a build that deals with the heavy armored units, which this Guandao doesn't have, but it's just for the purpose of showing stuff off. And if you go even further, which is something you definitely are not seeing a lot of the times, would be something like this, right? Also activate our 3, and then we can go to town. But yeah, you saw all these little red electric procs that were critting. Yeah, that is basically the gameplay loop for a normal mission. Most of the time you activate your 3, you go and kill stuff, you press your 4, and just recast your 4 all the time, right? Good. So what happens then is we were dying a lot in Steel Path with this, a lot. I mean, I did 2 or 3 test runs. where I just wanted to see how good this feels. Because I was noticing in sorties that we have a survivability problem if we are not like paying too much attention, right? The 100 armor, that is basically non-existent armor. So I felt very, very squishy. And I wanted to change this out. Now, for better results, I would have to invest more Forma. But I wanted to have a zero Forma build that can actually deal with the steel path with a couple of twists. Yes, obviously, you do have a Kuva Zarr on here that will be the carry for the mission. We do have a Kuva Nukor with a primer setup, right? And we do have a Guandao Prime that is just out for doing slash procs. So all these tools are here, yes. But if you really want to go into Steel Path with Gyre, this is what I came up with. Let's get rid of the red numbers there. You're now using Brief Respite, right? So 150% of energy goes to shields, and we are using 2 Auger mods. We sadly don't have the space for the third one. If we want to actually use Auger Reach, we will lose 15% range, and that is that was enough to make me use Stretch, right? Yeah. You could use this, but in conjunction of Brief Respite and 2 Auger mods, I feel like this is pretty good. We get 80% on here, 150 on here, so we are getting a good amount of shield back, right? Other than that, the build is almost the same. We don't have an Exilus mod here, but we are rocking Transient Fortitude, Intensify, Auger Secrets, same amount of strength, same amount of duration with Prime Continuity and Auger Message. We lose range because you're only using Stretch, and for survivability, we are using Rolling Guard. So, on dodge, become invulnerable for 3 seconds, and remove all status effect on a 7-second cooldown. This is amazing survivability for Steel Path, right? In combination with Brief Respite and the Auger mods, we are able to restore shields very, very quickly in quick succession. So if we ever get a slash proc on us, or a toxin proc, or any proc at all, we can just roll and have a 3-second invulnerability phase where we can heal up, either through Grace or through means of our operator, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So yeah, this is the change to the build that I've made for Steel Path, and yeah, I think that's the next thing that we will do. Normally I would stop here, only show the build and do the simulacrum, but I feel like since we talked about Steel Path a little bit, let's go into survival there, do just like 5 minutes until we get to the Acolyte, and then we finish up the episode. So see you in the Steel Path survival. Alright, let's go. We are on Draco, which is just a random survival that I have chosen. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. I need to get used to the gameplay loop with Rolling Guard again. It's been quite a while, to be honest, since I've used it. And I went the wrong way. Oh no, what a start. Right, so pop down our 1s, make sure our 3 is running and our 4 is running. That gave us a good amount of energy back as well. Shield, I mean, not energy. There we go. Not too shabby. Make sure our 1s are out. And just use our Kuva Zarr. And a Wellspring. Go. Okay. Nice. Enough energy to cast our 4, and now that we have overshields, obviously Brief Respite and stuff will not be able to be utilized, but that's okay. Just make sure our 1s are down. That one landed quite in a bad spot, but we should be able to deal with that. Use Rolling Guard here. There we go. Let's heal up with my Magus or Magus Repair. There we go. Okay. Recast our 4. Make sure ones are down. Alrighty. So that loop isn't too bad. Let's get rid of the actual slash proc there with Rolling Guard. Sweet. This portion of the gameplay loop is actually fairly easy to do. Let's make sure we are grabbing everything energy related that we can, because yeah, the main problem, or there's like 2 problems with this Warframe. First off, survivability, which is what we are currently working on, right, with the setup with Rolling Guard and stuff. Secondly, the energy economy is just like crazy, so you definitely need to make sure that you grab all the energy orbs, so that like Arcane Energize can proc. Make sure you are using Cenoric to make that easier for you as well, and just periodically go in and pop that. Other than that, I'm very happy with this frame, not gonna lie. I think it's quite a cool concept.
Prepare for life support.
Yeah, so let's grab a couple of life support things. There we go. Let's make sure we get rid of those enemies. That is a poorly placed one, but that's okay. We can use one down there. That is a little bit more suitable for what we are doing right now. So honestly, that is fine by me. Fine by me. Let's get rid of the slash proc with Rolling Guard. And as you saw, the passive is... Whoa, we almost died, so there we go. Sometimes you just need to use your operator arcanes to... or like your arcanes and your operator to heal up if stuff gets that dicey. That is just how this goes, right? Definitely not satisfied that I'm getting pushed out of that room, so yeah, we almost died. Actually, we almost died trying to reposition, which is not good. We are pretty much out of energy, so let's see if we can get some. Can. Okay. Okay. Think we recovered this a little bit. Sure, we get rid of the slash proc as well. I would like to heal my frame up. There we go. Done that as well. Good. Plop our ones. We recovered that situation. Good. Got an energized proc as well. Awesome. Okay. Throw down our ones. There we go. Definitely recovered from that situation. That was quite scary, not gonna lie. Make sure we grab all the energy that we can. Chat for the slash proc. Cost our 1. We need some more energy, so cost a 2 as well as a 1. There is something happening, which I mean, we could think about using Arcane Deflection. I had this on the list of possible arcanes to use, to be honest. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to. Okay. Life support is good. We need to get rid of the Acolyte though. Let's make sure everything's working. We also lost the 3 somehow, so let's recast that since it's off cooldown. Let's fire at the Acolyte. Good stuff. Right, so I feel like we could continue if we wanted to, but we are we've done everything we needed to do to prove the concept of the build, and I feel like that's all right. So let's just leave. As you saw, it got a bit dicey from time to time, and that is just something that will happen with this Warframe. But, I mean, with some Forma investment, you could probably fix a couple of those problems. But without Forma, being able to do the steel path is very cool. Yes, it got mostly carried by the Kuva Zarr that we are running, and I will show you the build, of course, for the Kuva Zarr here at the end. But for Gyre, that is all that we have to talk about for now. I might invest some Forma into her. I'm not really sure, mainly because I do like the gameplay loop, right? I really feel like that is cool. I like the theme of the Warframe, the electricity powers. That is very, very much appealing to me. But yeah, it is steel path ready. It is not a steel path killer at all. But yeah, I'm just glad that we were able to do the mission. I mean, 5 minutes in a survival is nothing more, right? But that's okay. I just wanted to show. Wow, I really can't talk today. I'm sorry. I just wanted to show that it is possible. Obviously, if we didn't have the Kuva Zarr, we would have gone with our Kuva Nukor as a primer and the Guandao Prime that is trimmed to deal some massive slash procs. But today's star next to Gyre was obviously the Kuva Zarr. This is the build I'm running. It's fire and forget, that's what I called it, but basically it's a viral build because my Kuva Zarr has innate toxin damage, right? So that's what I went for. We do have, we can switch this around basically, but yeah, we just double down on the toxin with Malignant Force and add rhyme rounds to get our viral setup and a good amount of status chance. We are running critical delay for the 200% crit chance and vital sense for some crit damage. Obviously, instead of Serration, you are running primary merciless here, which is really good in Steel Path. You've definitely stacked those damage bonuses up very, very fast. And Galvanized Chamber helps a lot, right? We also stack this up quite fast. You're using Galvanized Aptitude, so if you really want to ruin a day of a Acolyte, you can prime him with the Kuva Nukor, switch to barrage mode, and just shoot him with with that. Because yeah, whew. I mean, we have 4 status effects that we put on with the Kuva Nukor, so this is like a good amount of damage added, right? Yeah, we round this up with 100 munitions, of course, with the critical chance of 75%. We are critting a whole bunch, so getting slash procs out of that is very, very nicely. And we are using Primed Firestorm for the improved blast radius. You could switch this one out for a heat mod, mainly thermite rounds. That is something that you can do if you want to. If you do not have Primed Firestorm, I would actually run the setup like this. Gives you a good amount of status effect or status chance on top of everything else, and also adds the heat damage type as well. Helps with Galvanized Aptitude. Keep in mind, it only seems to work with the barrage fire mode, not with the cannon, but that's absolutely fine. For me at the moment though, it is absolutely perfect to run around like this, even in Steel Path, as you saw. You don't need the 3rd dual stat mod if you don't want to. But if you can and you don't need Primed Firestorm, or you don't want it, and you're running a barrage setup anyways, that is something you can do. And I have Vigilante supplies on here because this thing eats through ammo, obviously, and having that is just helpful. I'm pretty sure you could do this with only 2 Forma, so you don't need to go overboard like I am. But yeah, I might invest 2 more to get it to level 40 just because it looks really nice, right? All right, so yeah, that is pretty much all about Gyre. I hope you have enjoyed the Steel Path quick run there, including the Acolyte. I just wanted to take down 1 Acolyte basically and head out. So it is possible without any Forma. It is quite risky though, but that goes for a lot of Warframes, right? But yeah, Gyre looks very cool. As I said, like the gameplay loop very much so. And yeah, it does work for Steel Path. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And as always, take care. Bye.